A 5.9% gain last week in the equities, specifically stock market looking at the Dow Jones. Let's start there this morning as we're in higher territory on the Dow, still down 5.4%. That's year to date. But when you look at where we've been over the last 3 years, still a 16% return over 3 years. One that's provided a 25% return, up over 7% in the past week. NASDAQ in higher territory, and the S&P has been up 22% over the past 3 years. 5.9% gain over the past 5 sessions. Now, a market that has not gained over the last 3 years has actually lost 38% of its value. Positive territory for the year, but it's corn. December, penny 3/4 higher, 4.65 1/4. What about beans? 6 cents higher, 10.31 1/2. We start the morning with the wheat market. July, 7 1/4 lower, 5.63. Hard red is trading down 10 3/4, 5.72 1/2. Spring wheat, December, 7 1/4 lower, 6.50 1/2. And the cotton market, the new crop, down 62 at 67.89. Let's go to Maryland. Certified crop advisor with the mill is Ben Hushon. All right, Ben, what are you doing?
Good morning, Tony. So we're enjoying finally what feels a little more like spring. For the viewers, first time you've seen me without my heavy winter coat, all since probably last November. We had a 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain over the weekend. Caught some more showers here this morning. But I tell you, there's several things happening. I check soil temperature once a week. And for the viewers, there's also some pictures that I sent in of some wheat. And I've talked a lot about how our wheat crop is behind and hasn't looked so good. But let me tell you, the sun has risen on a beautiful crop here this morning. And we are looking at soil temperatures, though, that dropped 10 degrees in the last 7 days. Now, the flip side of that, Tony, and as we just heard on the weather forecast, we have warmer temperatures on the way. But for today, we're kind of trying to balance, like most farmers do, a whole lot of things at once. We're looking at wheat, which has finally reached the jointing stage. My friend on the eastern shore of Maryland, Mark Sultanfuss, kind of warned us we're not going to be able to feel the joint. We're probably going to have to dissect the plants. But we have hit growth stage 6, which is the time for the second application of nitrogen. Likely some fungicides and other things like that. One other final note, as I left our place of business to come to this field this morning, we were loading our first load of corn starter. The farmer said, bring up my fertilizer. I'm going to start planting corn in York County, Pennsylvania this afternoon.
Wow. Let's go back to wheat real quick. What are we looking for yields? What's a good expectation?
You know, I tend to understate things for several reasons, because certainly we don't want to tell a farmer, hey, I think you got 120 bushel field, and it turns out to be 90, because there's a whole lot that can happen from here to harvest time. But when I look at this field behind me, I'd certainly see an easy 100 bushel if things go right from here on. But there were some other fields, if you remember, that I showed you in the last couple of weeks that I think a 70 bushel yield goal would be a win, which, to sum it up, it looks to me like I'd have to think we're going to be 20 or so bushel off of what we have been doing the last couple of years.
Ben, great visual there. Thanks for being out in the field and taking us along. Ben Hushon is with the mill. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. We'll talk livestock markets. Market Day Report continues after this.